Hey, how's it going? Today I want to talk about ghost fleets or autonomous vessels and this concept. Autonomous vessels within the framework of the ghost fleet represents a cutting-edge approach to naval and maritime operations. These vessels are designed to operate without human crew on board, leveraging advanced technologies to perform a variety of tasks and missions. I'm interested to understand a little bit more, perhaps as well as share some of that information that I might be able to access. Would others have seen a lot of interest within the space of some of their cutting edge projects available? I'm not entirely sure how much information I can share, but there's a lot of interest, finance, so there's attention, so reduction in costs, right? I don't know how expensive it is to hold a crew of 8 people on some of those vessels, and taking those people out of those vessels, what's a cost benefit analysis on that, since it's already maximized. So those people, I'm not entirely sure what they even doing on those vessels, right? They safeguarding, protecting. Do they all actually driving anything? I'm not entirely sure. I'm looking to understand that as well as share some information with people out there who are interested in finding out more about those things. Let's begin with use cases. Autonomous vessels find applications in multiple use cases, including perhaps surveillance, reconnaissance, mine detection, anti-submarine warfare, and beyond. Right. So it's more military, I guess. But myself, I came in this subject in trying to understand perhaps logistics and cost-benefit analysis for logistic way of thinking about it. Well, I'm not entirely sure. Perhaps there's more interest in investments within perhaps military or defense sector, but perhaps there's a more either way. They can operate in hazardous and high-risk environments, providing versatility and adaptability for a wide range of naval missions. So there are options there, perhaps if based on the history, even if it would require perhaps some of those vessels, right? Myself, I'm trying to understand from business standpoint of view, but perhaps some people up there might find a lot of natural resources, the very depth of the sea, perhaps if they would dive deep, and perhaps there's some risk or high risk environments there, as well as perhaps defense might be a high risk environment where they would look to protect the crew and perhaps taking personnel out of the ship and perhaps just monitor everything or oversee everything from outside, not necessarily inside. I know some of the companies who are working on some of those projects. I will be covering those companies in more detail in later videos if any of you are interested. If you can do your own research to understand what's currently happening and where are a lot of finance with different regions again, what companies are interested in those areas, and some of those companies might be interested in hiring people. If you are just starting out, perhaps you might be interested in working for somebody else and from there progress and acquire some of those projects yourself if you can fulfill those projects, right? So that's another obstacle. Potential benefits. The deployment of autonomous vessels offers several compelling benefits. Firstly, they reduce the risk of human life in military and potentially commercial operations. Okay. The history, I don't know how many people, perhaps that's very risky as well. I don't know that much about it. Particularly in dangerous and challenging maritime environments, perhaps with the global warming and some of the new routes as well as oceans. I don't know what's happening, right? Moreover, they can enhance operational efficiency and effectiveness, providing for a force multiplier. In addition, the autonomous vessels enabling 24/7 continuous operations as they are not limited to by crew fatigue and rest requirements. I don't know. I thought people were just sleeping on board. I don't know what people are doing on those vessels. Really, I don't know. I have seen some videos most of the time by depending perhaps captain Who's not sleeping all the time? What they are doing? I don't know. Current challenges. Developing and implementing autonomous vessels comes within a set of challenges. These encompasses cybersecurity concerns, ensuring collision avoidance and compliance with international maritime laws, addressing ethical dilemmas related to autonomous weaponry, right, and deploying reliable and secure communication systems for remote operations. Perhaps that would be one of the biggest challenges, right? So if it would be autonomous, how would you be able to control and monitor that vessel? Perhaps internet connection is something that's currently being addressed. Perhaps launching more satellites in the orbit, right? Perhaps some of those obstacles being resolved now. Perhaps there's a lot of potential, if anything, and then takeaways, right? I don't know how I'm coming across as very ignorant, perhaps I don't understand that much about this subject, but perhaps there's a lot of potential there, since there's a lot of, by volume, a lot of goods moving, maritime shipments, right? Perhaps there are a lot of potentials there. I have seen some projects, right? So where they offering boat taxi. So I have seen those projects where I'm based. So there are projects there. I don't know if there's any potential there. I don't know. So there are projects there. Future opportunities. The prospects for autonomous vessels are promising. They are anticipated to find increasing relevance in naval operations, scientific research, offshore energy production, and commercial shipping. So that particular area that I'm interested in, as well as I personally believe there could be a lot of reduction in time. I don't know if there are different projects that might see better solutions, but reduce time required to going from point A to point B, and to base where all most of the population are by the sea. Most of the towns or trade towns would be near the sea, right? So perhaps that would be some of the obstacles, but I don't know. I don't know. There are different projects that I might be more interested in, but I don't want to leave this one without covering, right? Either way, furthermore, the technology will likely evolve, allowing even greater level of autonomy, advanced mission capabilities, and integration with manned fleets. So yeah, so perhaps hybrid, and from there unmanned fleets that potentially could be steps that would need to be taken. But even now, I'm not entirely sure how those massive container ships are being operated. I personally believe that they're very small crews, 8 people, 4 people, perhaps sometimes, just because of insurance, they might keep 20 people, but do they really need it? Unless, in case of emergency, they might have that big size of a group that would be needed to stay out of home for many days, if not months, right? So perhaps there's a potential there. So for any of you who are interested, there might be some potential, making sure that those people can stay in home with their families instead of sitting in the boat, I guess, on a rocky boat, right? People out there who are interested in finding out more, I have published this tool for people who are interested in developing a habit, looking at different areas. With Squad Planner is covering time management as well as development of the habits. If you were to work from cover to cover, that would be enough time for you to develop a habit. It's important to acknowledge that, as well as you would bring your attention into optimizing your time 24 hours and making most of your time. I have identified different areas within 24 hours which I personally believe are very important. That would be dictionary, as well as different areas as personal development, professional development, values, motivation. If it's something that you're struggling with, one can struggle on Mondays, as it is today, Monday, with motivation, right? So it could be a quote, or perhaps different metrics that you would like to bring your attention to, as well as different other areas. You can find it in the description below, as well as top details has it. It's essential to recognize that the field of autonomous vessels and the concept of ghost fleets continue to advance. Therefore, staying informed about the latest developments, ongoing research, and practical applications is recommended to fully understand the current state and future potential of those innovative maritime technologies, as well as for people out there who are interested in finding out more about current projects. For some reason, there are many different projects within Europe, China, Europe, dominating some of those markets. So perhaps it would be more more things that people there within Europe are very interested in, and perhaps have necessary tools or know-how. Perhaps they're just working on technologies, right? So if it's something that you are currently working on, I've seen some of the jobs with cybersecurity as well as a lot of potential there, as well as other areas. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.